Waking up, you're no longer in your bed. You wake in a beautiful hotel room in Paris. Or you're in the Slytherin dormitories, being woken up by the prefect because you're late for potions with Snape. Everything is more or less the same with you, but it's all slightly different. You aren't where you started. Or maybe you wake up and still see yourself lying there. You're in your room, but for the moment, you're a ghost, even though you still see your body breathing there. You're successfully astral projected, and now the entire multiverse is at your disposal. By now, you've probably heard of shifting, a practice in which you lay down in bed in a starfish position and count backwards from 100 with a sheet of paper under your pillow. You spent the whole day meticulously planning out how to, for example, get Draco Malfoy to fall in love with you, and you've written constantly, you can't die or get hurt in this reality. 1 real hour over there is 1 day, and you're ready to spend months in Hogwarts every night from now on. TikTok seems to be the catalyst for shifting sudden urge in popularity. After last year's resurgence of Harry Potter fans, suddenly, if you're on the right side of that app, everyone is crying over the families and friends they left behind each time they woke up in the morning. Teenage girls were living entire lives and spending months in Hogwarts seemingly overnight. My For You page was filled with stories and cute anecdotes of how the characters acted and what they did. Between tutorials explaining the starfish method, or alternatively the raven method, I was met with the warnings that you could get stuck in these worlds. There were guides on how to protect your body as it rested without you consciously operating it. This sounds an awful lot like astral projection, maybe in a more whimsical way. TikTok isn't the only place that seemingly glorifies the idea of astral projection. Simply type in YouTube search bar, astral projection, and you'll find countless videos guiding you through the process, or retellings of people's own experiences. So with all this media depicting astral projection, what really is it? For the sake of this video, astral projection will be defined as an intentional out-of-body experience, achieved through meditation. This concept has been around for centuries and can be seen in countless cultures. Roots are so deep that it's hard to actually pinpoint where astral projection's history begins. So for the sake of brevity, I'm going to say that it's very old and has been practiced around the world for a variety of reasons. The projection itself is achieved through many different ways. There's not exactly one way to project, nor is there one real definition. People astral project for a multitude of reasons. To some, it's just a fun thing to try out, or a way to connect with individuals from very far away, through spiritual travel through the world. For many, however, modern-day astral projection is seen as a spiritual practice. This travel can serve as a means of enlightenment and allow people to discover more about themselves and the world through their experiences in the astral realm. Whether these realms are spiritual, truly another plane of existence, another spot in the multiverse, or simply a very vivid dream, is entirely up for debate. Answers can vary wildly depending on the person you're speaking to. There are countless ways you can achieve an out-of-body experience. Learning the process is as simple as doing a Google search. There are countless of tutorials or online guides explaining exactly how to astral project. The most common way is meditation, whether that's self-guided after much study, or assisted by a YouTube video. Other ways include special audio recordings that use certain frequencies to supposedly make the projection much smoother. From the guided videos I've sifted through, the formula often consists of a combination of breathing techniques, counting, and sounds. When I did try 1 or 2 of them, I just fell asleep and had no out-of-body experience. But the comments on them seem to say that they work. I'm not going to pretend that I understand the specific nuances of meditation. And being that I've never successfully astral projected myself, I can't say whether that method or combination of methods work best. I will say, however, that if you truly want to try astral projection and want to become more in line with your higher self, breathwork seems to be the best way to go. Of course, if you want an out-of-body experience, you could look to the U.S. government and their documents on the Gateway Experience and try the steps outlined in it. In 1983, the U.S. Army orchestrated the creation of a document assessing what is referred to as the Gateway Experience. In short, this document details how individuals can achieve an out-of-body experience and astral project through time and space through a phenomenon known as hemisync. This occurs when an individual uses audio techniques to get both hemispheres of the brain to become equal in amplitude and frequency. Through this hemisync, subjects are able to enter a lucid state of being and travel at will without the restrictions of this realm. To quote the document, fundamentally, the Gateway Experience is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output between the left and right hemispheres, so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere, so as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. The document not only details the steps of the gateway experience, which I will not be going over, but it provides the background information and examples of other experiences such as hypnosis, transcendental meditation, and biofeedback. It also speaks on how the entirety of the human being is a collection of energy fields, and that because of these energy fields, we are consciousness matrix. It then goes on to say that since all we are is a collection of various energies, we are able to harmonize with other frequencies, and the knowledge and ability to do that is what allows us to achieve this hemisync and transcend the conscious realm that we know of today. Of course, as with anything, the practice of astral projection has received backlash, and being that astral projection is virtually unprovable, since the proof is more or less rooted in the perceived honesty of those who have had an out-of-body experience, and being that the idea is so outlandish, there will of course be those who do not believe in the spiritual aspects of it. In 2000, there was a study released by the Journal of Parapsychology which aimed to see if there was a correlation between the out-of-body experience and a form of dissociation. The study sought to determine if the out-of-body experience that individuals have is actually their conscious mind stepping out of their body, or if it was simply their mind entering a dissociative state, which made the subjects feel as if they were no longer attached to themselves. Although the study did find a connection between dissociative factors and the out-of-body experience, they did not further their research, and instead decided to provide a jumping-off point for future studies to see if there was a deeper connection between dissociation and the out-of-body experience. An article by Benjamin Radford states that a possible test to prove the validity of astral projection is simple. Researchers must hide an object somewhere in the world. The subject will only be told the location of the object, and be instructed to astral project that exact location. If they are able to correctly identify the object and describe its placement, it will prove that they were successful in moving their consciousness to another location in the real world. If they are unable to accurately describe the object, it would prove that astral projection is just an illusion and trick of the mind. Of course, there are obvious issues with this test. One being that researchers must have a relatively large test group, and they must also be sure that the subjects are certain that they can astral project properly. If astral projection were to be scientifically proven to exist, and if it was as simple as online guides make it seem, it provides many security issues. On one hand, it allows individuals to transport themselves into dangerous situations and perform vigilante investigation while keeping their bodies free of harm. However, projecting your consciousness to another location also means that there is no visible proof of you being there. This, in turn, can be weaponized and used for all the wrong reasons. It could allow anyone to just shift their conscious into highly classified areas and meeting, unsee or hear things that no one knows that they are here. It is said the spaces can be protected, and with this protection, individuals cannot enter these areas with astral projection. An example of this is celebrities. It is said that they often have shields up that keep unwanted people from projecting into their homes. This theory of protection in the astral realm is spoken of and studied far less than astral projection itself. But it would prove very useful in keeping unwanted minds out of certain situations. With the concept of astral projection spanning over hundreds of years and through multiple cultures, the idea that it is impossible seems to be unlikely. However, the definition of astral projection is most likely to have changed over time. With the rise of the internet and the ability to obtain and share information with ease, the line separating the truth of astral projection from the lies has become blurred. This confusing mess of fact and fiction still does not detract from the fact that many do believe in and attempt to achieve an intentional out-of-body experience. And whether it is genuinely a spiritual journey where you can discover a higher level of consciousness by stepping out of your physical body and transcending through the multiverse, or you're just simply lying in bed, dreaming up a journey, there is still meaning in each experience in the astral realm. If you want to know more about astral projection, or attempt it yourself, do your research, and seek out as much information as you can. Pit all your sources against each other, or even better, try to find a mentor that practices astral projection, and will be willing to guide you through your journey in the astral realm.